Hello, people. This is me, Profar. This is a topic that has been circulating around the online Muso community, and I really want to give my opinion about this. People in the community don't seem to understand how serious this topic is because most of us are more concerned about demanding the Warriors games that we want from Koei-Tecmo. Now, I am all for wanting better Warriors games, but adding this to Samurai Warriors is not it. You guys know from the title, I want to talk about Hideyoshi's Korean campaign and why Koei-Tecmo is never going to put this in Samurai Warriors games. To start, I want to go over the history of Japanese media censorship in South Korea. After the end of World War II and the end of Japanese occupation of Korea, 15th August 1945, South Korea enforced a law called the Law of Punishing Anti-National Deeds. This law was created to prevent any distribution of Japanese-related things, including media such as records, videos, CDs, TV shows, and games. Violating this law could result to 1 year of imprisonment and at worst, execution for acts of anti-nationalism. Yes, you can be considered as a traitor to South Korea if you distribute Japanese TV shows during that time. As time goes by, the censorship of Japanese media in South Korea was lifted with the rise of Kim Dae-jung as president in the mid-90s. On 20th October 1998, Japanese manga were allowed to be distributed in South Korea. By the start of the new millennium, Japanese video games were able to be distributed in the country. However, there are still limitations on the things that Japanese media can show in South Korea. One of the biggest things that was not allowed to be shown was samurai. Any Japanese media that was distributed at the time must not show a samurai in any shape or form. One best example I can give was in Namco's Soul Edge or Soul Blade in America. In the original arcade version of Soul Edge, the samurai character, Mitsurugi, was removed in the Korean version of the game. Instead, he was replaced by a Korean warrior named Hwang, who has the exact same moveset as Mitsurugi. It was not until version 2 of the game that Mitsurugi was placed back in the Korean version of the game. This version came out around the early 2000s where South Korea applied total liberalization of Japanese media. Fast forward to 2024, Japanese media is able to be distributed in South Korea a lot more freely, but it's not without certain rules and limitations. Now, why was samurai censored in South Korea back then and considered to be culturally sensitive? Once again, it all comes back to the history of Japan and Korea. Two historical events that led to the censorship of samurai in South Korea. One event was the Japanese occupation of Korea during World War I and World War II. The other event takes us way back, and that was Hideyoshi's Korean campaign in 1592 to 1598. Hideyoshi's Korean campaign, or the Imjin War, is still considered one of the darkest events in Korean history. It was documented that a lot of samurai warriors of the Toyotomi committed war crimes towards the Korean people. One infamous event from the war was the Festival of Blood, in which the Toyotomi army captured soldiers and civilians, then tortured them to death in the fort of Busan. Hideyoshi even ordered to send his army to empty the country, basically committing ethnic cleansing. In short, Hideyoshi's Korean campaign is basically the Korean version of the Holocaust. As a Japanese video game company, you cannot simply make a game where you play as a samurai, killing thousands of Korean soldiers while shouting verbiage like justice, honor, peace, and etc. Not to mention, it is presented in the somewhat shonen anime-ish ways of samurai warriors. Now just imagine if there was a German game where you play as a Nazi soldier, killing Jews while your character is presented like a shonen anime protagonist. That could possibly create one of the biggest controversies in the video game world. This is not the same as Samurai Warriors 5, including Nobunaga's assault at Mount Hiei, one of the most infamous genocides in Japanese history. In that context, Koei-Tecmo was covering a historical event that happened only in Japan and did not concern any other countries. Now, are there games that cover the Imjin War? Yes, there are. One of them is a strategy game back in the 90s from South Korea called War Diary. I'm sure there are others exist. However, considering the sensitive nature of the topic, it needs to be represented in a way that is very respectful to the actual history. Once again, you cannot have a game based on this history while Hideyoshi is acting like the anime protagonist that he is in Samurai Warriors. Worth mentioning as well, this is a line I saw from someone on Discord named Great Fan. Shout out to him, and I quote, "Absolutely no Japanese company would ever portray the Korean War where you kill Koreans, be it Koei, Capcom, Square Enix, Sega, whatever. It is a terrible idea for Koei-Tecmo to include the Korean campaign, whether it's for Samurai Warriors or Nobunaga's Ambition. This not only can cause problems for Koei-Tecmo, but it can cause nationwide issue for Japan. This could also potentially damage the relationship between Japan and South Korea. It is that severe." Now, why am I so fired up with this? Like I said, I keep seeing people demanding to include the Korean campaign in Samurai Warriors just because it's something that they want to have in their games. Again, I have no problems of demanding better games from Koei-Tecmo. I'm all for that. In fact, I've been very vocal about wanting better Muso games. However, I find it really baffling with some demands of the Muso community, and this is one of them. We overly demanding stuff from Koei-Tecmo without understanding the repercussions and other aspects of it. It grinded my gears once when I saw someone say that Koei-Tecmo doesn't have the balls to have the Korean campaign in Samurai Warriors. No, this is not about having balls. They are potentially creating a nationwide issue by doing that. Adding the Korean campaign does nothing for the quality of Samurai Warriors as a game series. So that's it for this video. I just want to get this topic out of my chest because it's been begging to come out. With that being said, this is me, Profar. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you dislike this video, give me a thumbs down. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.